All eyes have got to be on General Chiwenga. The most unlikely maverick and game changer is emerging out of Zanu PF, and I cannot believe that it took me this long to get to this moment. After the November removal of Robert Mugabe, the great question was, does General Chiwenga remain the head of the military, or does he become vice president of the country? The argument was, which position is more powerful? Vice president is ceremonial across anywhere in the world versus head of the military, which is very executive and can influence the outcome of any result or situation in Zimbabwe. Obviously, we have all underplayed the prowess of this man. Let me tell you a story my father once told me. General Chiwenga was a teenager when he decided to go and join the liberation struggle. A minor, in whose days especially, at the time that he grew up, should have been under the supervision of his parents. The first question he asked when he entered the orientation class was, who's in charge? My father was a teacher there, and he describes the most ambitious, careful, and calculated student to ever go through his classes. It takes a certain type of person to even consider going to war, especially at that age, to put yourself under the line of fire for a battle that men and women of this country might never actually understand or appreciate. I worked under George Magosongo, one of the men who fought with General Chiwenga. For a few years, you'd always tell us a story of a time when he was shot in his lower knee in the middle of a gunfight, and General Chiwenga carried him on one arm while he used the other arm to shoot them out of the line of fire into a position of safety. The point he was always trying to make, or always trying to sell us, was that General Chiwenga was not a legend because he won battles. He was a legend because he actually chose when the battles came to an end. During the war, he rose up the ranks amidst some of the most decorated and celebrated military experts like General Zinawashe, General Mujuri, to become the head of the military in his early 40s. You rise up the ranks of any organization by either outproving your competitors or outsmarting them. Sometimes you get lucky, and that's how you get to the top. But what's certain is to stay at the top requires tenacity and a strong grip. The journey to the top is hard, but staying at the top is even harder. Ask any achiever. This man is an enforcer. There is a difference between getting a phone call from Chiwenga and getting a phone call from ED. Think about that. Chiwenga is not much of a thinker like ED is. Chiwenga is a doer. He is the guy who gets the job done. Now, there is a lot of conversation taking place, especially in the CIO, about the relationship between the two. Are they fighting or are they working together? The government belongs to ED, but the chief whip is General Chiwenga. All eyes should be on Chiwenga because the rise and fall of the party is actually on his shoulders. ED is now working for a respectful exit, but Chiwenga is the guy. He is the guy who is really working for the legacy. ED is working to right the wrongs of his mentor and his generation, but Chiwenga is dreaming of a new party and country altogether. Chiwenga is the defeating factor of the MDC alliance right now, because the trouble with the MDC alliance is, I've always said, outside of Nelson Chamisa, they don't have anybody else to deploy to pull crowds for them. ED can afford to stay in the office and get some government business done, while Chiwenga works the ground for him. But Chiwenga is far much better a campaigner than ED. Dating back to the liberation struggle, Chiwenga was the deputy to Josiah Tungamirai, who was the military political commissar responsible for organizing the very first Zanu PF vote. ED does the star rallies and captures the provinces. Chiwenga is doing the constituencies at a pace I have never seen in Zanu PF. The man is knocking 4 rallies a day. Why? Because Zanu PF, like MDC, is a broken party, and Chiwenga is carefully orchestrating the rebuilding of that party. But more important than that, he is preparing the party for when he eventually gets to run for president. General Chiwenga is tying up loose ends. He spends his days figuring out how to bring people into the party who don't hate Zanu PF, but just maybe feel a little bit underappreciated by Zanu PF. His charm offensive saw Zanu PF holding town hall meetings with the mixed race community, Indian community, the former farmers who had lost their land. He is going after the vote Chamisa should have been captivating. He doesn't want ED gone. It wouldn't make any sense. He needs ED to occupy government and handle government business while he rebuilds himself a party that is now so fragmented but has the potential to becoming an undefeatable party. Understand why I say this. Zanu PF has some incredible talent at the bottom and in the middle, but the obstacle for this talent is the stubborn old guard. When you peel off the skin of Zanu PF, you find some of the most educated, capable, ready minds whose mainstream into politics is going to be ushered by General Chiwenga. The single reason Robert Mugabe could stay in power after 2008 defeat is General Chiwenga. The single reason Joyce Mujuru could not stay in power is General Chiwenga. The single reason Grace Mugabe could not become vice president is General Chiwenga. The single reason ED is in power is General Chiwenga. He is the smartest political mind in Zanu PF, and he is the perfect number 2 to ED. Now, ED is setting cast the vision. Chiwenga is rallying the troops military style to achieve that vision. All eyes should be on Chiwenga if you want to deal with Zanu PF. Until tomorrow, head bound. Hi guys, thank you for supporting the Lumumba Files. To make sure you don't miss the show, press the subscribe button below and the notification button, that's the one with the little bell, and you will always get told when I put up a show. Thank you for watching. Head bowed.